and bells make the holidays swell, and it's all about you. Happy birthday, Jesus. Jesus, I love you.
Happy birthday, Jesus. I'm so glad it's Christmas. All the tinsels and lights and the presents are nice, but the real gift is you. Happy birthday, Jesus. I'm so glad it's Christmas. All the carols and bells make the holidays swell, and it's all about you. Happy birthday, Jesus. Jesus, I love you.
I think we're redoing it. I don't want to do it. No. Miss Dewberry.
Can't believe you just said that. She's going to
Happy birthday, Jesus. I'm so glad it's Christmas. All the tinsel and lights and the presents are nice, but the real gift is you. Happy birthday, Jesus. I'm so glad it's Christmas. All the carols and bells make the holidays swell, and it's all about you.
2018, on behalf of the mayor, members of the corporation, and the people of Hamilton, we welcome the Salvation Army to City Hall for the kickoff of their Kettle event, and hope that all Bermudians that can afford it participate. And now, for the official welcome, let's welcome to the podium the Right Worshipful Charles R. Gosling, JP, Mayor of the City of Hamilton. You may applaud.
What am I going to do without him? Deputy Governor Alison Crockett, the Minister of Health, the Honorable Kim Wilson, JP MP, Bishop of Bermuda, His Worship, the Reverend Nicholas Dill, Major Sandra Stokes, Salvation Army Divisional Commander, ladies and gentlemen, and I feel I also need to welcome the Christmas tree here. It's still standing after last night. It gives me great pleasure to be a part of the Salvation Army's Christmas Kettle campaign. Today marks the first day of the campaign, and we wish you all the best in your fundraising. The holidays are a very festive time, but for some in our community, the hardships they endure can deprive them of the giving season. That is where we all come into play. Bermudians are known not only for their personable dispositions, but also for their generous hearts. So please, take a moment, just a moment, to stop at one of these kettles and donate what you can to assist those who need it most. I applaud the Salvation Army for their continued efforts in our community and wish everyone the most festive of holiday seasons. Welcome to City Hall steps. Welcome to Hamilton, Bermuda at its best. Thank you all.
Good afternoon, Bermuda. Welcome. It is just my opportunity to thank the Mayor, Charles Gosling, for welcoming us to City Hall and all the time letting us minister here as we do on many occasions. Thank you, sir. I'd like to also thank if you were wondering who that lovely choir was, that was the Delwood Middle School Choir. And we'd like to thank the Salvation Army Brass for their renditions to bring us into the Christmas season. Also, guest this afternoon, who will be introduced more formally later on, is our acting governor, Alison Crockett, Minister Kim Wilson, our bishop, Nicholas Dill, who needs no introduction, but he's one of us, Pastor Terrence Stubble, our chairman, David Cooper. We also would like to let you know that the Bermuda Olympic Association, who has decided to help us in our kettles, and past Olympians. As you see, past Olympians will be mending the kettles as well. Also, a special thanks to the Impact Mentoring Academy, who on behalf just said we'll drop off some of the food supplies that the school has donated, and they dropped them off this morning. They will start the Fill the Truck campaign for food donations. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce to you our new leader of the Salvation Army. Can I say, an island girl from the Big Island, in the north. Major Sandra Stokes comes to Bermuda with 30 years of experience as an ordained minister of the gospel, studying at the Salvation Army College of Officer Training, as well as Guelph University. But more than that, you know, she's an outdoor person. She gets her hands dirty. She loves people. And we have accepted her as our leader. I greet you, Major Stokes. Come and give us your greetings.
Thank you. I've been high and lifted up. Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Salvationists and friends all. It's a delight for me to be here this afternoon as we commence our Christmas ministries and officially kick off our our Christmas Kettle appeal. Aside from Ho 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 and several songs by Perry Como, perhaps no other sound says Christmas more than the ringing of a Salvation Army bell and the Salvation Army band, which we're delighted to have with us as well today. For some 125 years, the red kettle has been in the world. From Thanksgiving to Christmas Eve, these buckets or bubbles, whatever you prefer, can be found outside of thousands of storefronts in small towns and villages and big cities around the world, and yes, even here in our beloved island home of Bermuda. For the Salvation Army, this is our largest fundraising effort of the year. It's an opportunity for community to help community. It's an opportunity for you, it's an opportunity for us to support our work as we endeavor to serve the less fortunate among us, in hopes that all Bermudians will experience the joy and the love and the warm embrace of Christmas that Christ came to bring so many years ago. Some may ask, what happens to the money that goes in these bubbles? Red Kettles raise funds for Salvation Army programs that provide food, shelter, rehabilitation, disaster relief, and much more for people and families in crisis at Christmas time and throughout the world. This year, as part of our letter campaign and our Kettle campaign, we hope to raise $500,000 to enable us to do the work we do at Christmas as well as throughout the year. So the red kettles are very important to us and our mission and our efforts in serving others. It began in 1891 by a young captain, Joseph McPhee, in San Francisco, California. He was troubled one day because there was a need to provide food, a warm, hot dinner to 1,000 people. And they had no funds in which to do it. So he had an idea. He thought back to when he was a sailor in Liverpool, England, where on the docks of the city's waterfront, he remembered seeing a large pot into which charitable donations could be thrown. The next day, McPhee secured permission to place a brass urn at the Oakland ferry landing. Beside the pot, he placed a sign which read, "Keep the pot boiling." Don't you like that? Keep the pot boiling. Well, soon he had all the money he needed for the Christmas dinner. 2 years later, McPhee's fundraising idea had expanded to more than 30 locations on the West Coast. Everywhere he went, he took the bubble, the kettle, with him, and his idea exploded. And as we say, the rest is history. For in countries all over the world at this time of year, the Salvation Army, friends of the Salvation Army, organizations, businesses alike will come to support us in our efforts and will stand by our kettles and will make contributions to the same. I have good news for you today, young and old alike. You can be a part of this red kettle tradition. You can help us keep the pot boiling because we still need your help. To date, we have registered over 1,200 families who will need our support this Christmas from east to west on our island home. There will be several kettle locations from east to west. We have the information of Salvation Army locations on the back of your brochure that you received today. We will encourage you to seek those out, to give a call. If you can offer some time, an hour, 2 hours to stand at a kettle, we would greatly appreciate that. And I know Cheryl Jones would be more than happy to answer the telephone at our head office when you say to her, I have a couple of hours that I'd like to donate my time. On the back of this pamphlet, you will also see how you can donate, and we would appreciate your attention to the same. The number also there is provided. It's also important for me to say to you that all monies raised in Bermuda remains in Bermuda. Every dime we collect on these Christmas kettles and what comes in through our letter appeal remains here to allow the Salvation Army to provide assistance for those who come to us. So for over 100 years, the Salvation Army has provided hope and dignity to people in need through the generosity of others. I do not stand here today and say that this is all because of the Salvation Army. That's not true. We are just a vessel. We are just a part of the body that God uses to do what He's called us to do. But we could not do that without folks like you. We could not do that without folks standing around here today. So from our hearts, we deeply say thank you for your anticipated response to our Christmas Kettle campaign. Make a difference in someone's life this Christmas, will you? And God will bless you and honor your efforts as you give. Thank you so much, and may God richly bless each and all of you. Who would imagine a king? The school choir sang earlier, "Joy to the world, the Lord has come." And now Dakota Tucker is going to come and sing for us, "Who Would Imagine a King?" Dakota is 14 years old. I am told she excels in school. She is intelligent, energetic. She's a talented artist and vocalist, and I'm sure her melodious voice will bless us today as she comes to sing for us. She is an active member of Restoration Ministries Church. All right, there are some fans in the audience. That's good. She commenced dancing at age 4 and is currently a member of the Junior Dance Company at United Dance Productions, where she studies weekly. In 2013, Dakota enjoyed performing in Gilbert and Sullivan's Broadway musical, South Pacific, and in 2016, she performed in The Magic of the Musicals. She recently competed in the Bermuda Teen Idol competition, where she won, and is currently the 2018 Bermuda Teen Idol. Wow, that is amazing. We thank you so very much, Dakota, for being with us today. I know even at age 14, you are very, very busy. So the Salvation Army appreciates your presence here today. We also will appreciate your talent, so come sing for us, and may the Lord bless you. Would you like to greet her?
Mommies and daddies always believe that their little angels are special indeed, and you could grow up to be anything, but who would imagine a king, a shepherd or teacher is what you could be. Or maybe a fisherman out on the sea. Or maybe a carpenter building things. But who would imagine a king? It was so clear when the wise men arrived and the angels were singing your name, that the world could be different 'cause you were alive. That's why heaven stood still to proclaim. One day an angel said quietly that soon he could bring something special to me, and all of the wonderful gifts he could bring. Who would imagine? Who could imagine? Who would imagine a king? A king. And thank you. My second selection will be Mary, Did You Know? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hands? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creations? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? That sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
Wow. I'm glad I just have to introduce somebody now and not sing, because it would seem very poor in comparison. Thank you so much, Dakota. Lovely indeed. I had the privilege a couple of months ago of meeting the acting governor, Miss Alison Crockett, and it was a joy at that time to sit and chat with you. Something of what you've done. I'm going to read her bio, just pieces of it, but you'll quickly identify that she's very much about community. She's very much about making a difference, and she's very much about even children and speaking into their lives in a way that is meaningful to create brighter futures for them, for their families, and indeed for all of us. Ms. Crockett is a career diplomat who joined the diplomatic service in October of 2001, having worked previously for local government social services departments and for children's NGO Barnados. Ms. Crockett was head of the Anti-Corruption Unit in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, where she has been instrumental in drafting international aspect of the UK's government's anti-corruption strategy. She was previously posted in Vienna, where she worked on transitional organized crime, as well as HIV prevention and public health programs. Ms. Crockett is delighted to be in Bermuda and to have this opportunity to serve here and to share her skills and her experiences with us. She's delighted to be here and looks forward to connecting and meeting new friends of our beloved country as she shares with us. Would you join me in welcoming our acting governor, Miss Alison Crockett, to the platform, please?
Good afternoon, Bermuda. I just want to say thank you very much to the Mayor and to the Salvation Army for inviting me here this afternoon. It's a great honor to be here, great pleasure to take part in this event, not least because the entertainment so far has been so amazing. This is my first year in Bermuda, as you'll probably know by now. I'm here 4 months, so I'm still going through the firsts of everything. My first cup match, my first walk along the beach, my first visits to your beautiful parts of the island. And each time I go through one of those firsts, I'm always overwhelmed, not just by the obvious beauty, physical beauty of the island, but also, perhaps even more so, of the warmth and the humour and the compassion of the Bermudian people. I feel really honoured and privileged to be here to serve such an amazing community of people. Particularly at this time of year, I do feel extremely blessed, as well as the career elements of me. I should say that I'm very blessed to have come with my partner Pete, and I have two amazing daughters who are young women now, Lindsay, who's 27 and lives in Vienna, and Kirsty, who's 26 and married and lives in London. And they're all coming here for Christmas, and we're all very excited about it. And at this time of year in particular, I feel very blessed that I have such an amazing, loving family and good friends that I love and who love me. And it draws into more sharp focus that there are so many people everywhere in the world, and here is not an exception, who do not have the support and the love around them of people who are close to them. And so it's beholden on all of us, I do believe, that we reach out at such times to make our family bigger and include the people who don't have obvious people around them to reach out to. And I hope to do that this year is no exception. Hopefully to provide some help and assistance to those who are already doing that with such great experience and expertise like the Salvation Army, and to be thankful for all of that we have, and to participate in in this amazing community at this amazing time of year. So thank you very much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute delight that I have to present to most and introduce to some Mrs. Kim Wilson, JP MP. Mrs. Wilson has quite an illustrious background for one so young. Not only is she the wife of Dr. Kent Simmons, but she is also mother to Kent II and Niara. So she's busy, ladies, but she also has a legal background which includes both criminal and civil litigation, estate planning, wills, and probate. The issue of crime, which is on all of us, on the minds of all of us, the contributing factors and the impact on our community has stood in the forefront of her career. She understands the challenges faced by the judicial system, having served on the one hand as defense counsel and on the other as acting magistrate in the law courts. She has served on a number of boards and committees, which include, among others, the Human Rights Commission, E-Commerce Advisory Board, Criminal Injuries Compensation Board, and the Board of Governors for Cedar Bridge Academy. She is a member of the Ellen Temple AME Church. She's been active in fundraising for their capital projects, and as part of her busy schedule and her commitment to the community, she has also served as a Sunday school teacher. We thank Minister Wilson in advance for all that she has contributed to the community and will continue to do so in her present capacity. Please welcome Minister Kim Wilson.
Thank you, Beverly. Good afternoon, everyone. For many in Bermuda, Christmas is such a joyous time, one of the most festive times of the year. It is a wonderful time, not only because of gifts, celebrations, and beautiful decorations, but also it's a time and an opportunity for us to spend time with our loved ones and our family. To me, this is also a time truly for all of us as Bermudians to show our commitment to being our brother's keeper. However, for some, it can be a difficult time of the year, particularly financially. And this is where we can support through the Salvation Army's Christmas Kettle campaign, which can be a lifesaver to many people in Bermuda. Driven by their spiritual consciousness, the Salvation Army responds wherever people are needed a helping hand. We've seen them many times over the years, the red kettles positioned outside of grocery stores and various other locations throughout our island, collecting money for the people on our island who need it most, who need all of us to take stock of what is truly important and open our hearts and our pockets to help others less fortunate than we are. Their work is only possible through the generous support of the public and through the generous support of the corporate sector. The funds collected in these kettles all go towards the Salvation Army's Christmas program, which includes the Christmas hamper program for seniors and families, their toy drive for children, providing hot meals for the homeless 5 nights a week throughout the month of December, including a couple of full Christmas meals to boost, as well as providing hot meals to our seniors. And the monies collected also go towards the emergency shelter, as well as their addictions programming. The Salvation Army has found that their shelter usage tends to increase during these holiday periods. So in closing, I'm urging everyone to support this year's Christmas Kettle campaign in any way that you can. And the success of this campaign relies on the generosity of each and every one of us during this holiday season. Thank you.
I'm sure these young people are very special at this time of the year, but let's welcome again the Dellwood School Choir.
Number 6.
While shepherds kept their watching, or silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Go, standing on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go, standing on the mountain, that Jesus Christ is born. Go, over the hills and everywhere. Go, telling on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born. Down in a lonely manger, a humble Christ was born, and decoration and blasted Christmas morn.
I know you want to give another rousing round of applause. Thank those young people for reminding us that we must go and tell it. I saw the proud principal down here a few minutes ago, Ms. Tina Duke, and we congratulate her and her school on an awesome, awesome presentation. Thank you. Bless you. At this time, I want to perhaps present to most. Most people know this gentleman because even though he is the Right Reverend Bishop of the Anglican Church, high office, he's often in the community as a servant leader. I can attest to that. He serves on our soup ministry truck, along with some of his children. Now, you know he has a lot of children. And I know that these children keep him real because you see him strutting around town, and he is perhaps the most chicly dressed, if I may say that, with due respect. I don't think there are other bishops who look like he looks. I could be wrong. They keep him real. It's his children. We thank you for your servant leadership. We thank you for the way you move in and through the community. We thank you for your humility, and we welcome you at this time.
I'm sure my children have no idea who you're talking about. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the privilege of saying just a few words today. The question that comes to mind is, what does love look like? Is love a noun? Is it an adjective? Or is it a verb? And I think our understanding that when you're experiencing love, it's not just about words, it's about deeds. The good book says this: what good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Well, every year we are reminded through the work of the Salvation Army that faith is alive and love is real and tangible. And on behalf of the churches of Bermuda, I just want to commend and thank you for your ongoing witness to the love of Jesus, which is expressed in very practical and needful ways, and for the challenge that presents to every one of us to make our faith and our love real in action. So it is my privilege on behalf of the churches to work alongside you, to pray with you, to help you, and to pledge to be a part of the solution for this community. We know at this time of year it's very hard for many, and it's already been said, but I know that for some, jobs are not available at the Christmas season. For others, it just reminds them of losses that they've experienced in the past. There's a grieving process goes involved, but every tangible act of love is one which builds up and holds people together and shows that we care, that we are a part of a body together, and we want to commend you and thank you and bless you for all that you do on all of our behalf, but also for the way that you stir us up to do the same. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bishop, for those very kind words and reminder of what this season is about. I am here to represent the advisory board and in particular to encourage and thank the business community for their tremendous support over the years for the Salvation Army and their work here in Bermuda. And in particular, I'm here to encourage them to continue that support and encourage them to, if anything, increase that support. And the corollary of that is that I'm here to thank, on behalf of the business community, the Salvation Army for all the work that they do here in Bermuda to benefit us all. The Kettle campaign is the most prominent indication of the financial support that the community gives to the Salvation Army. Please don't be discouraged. They're not usually actual kettles. If you had to get the donations out of the kettles, you would understand why buckets are more appropriate. But in addition to the Kettle campaign, there is always the ability for all of us to continue to give to the Salvation Army over the year. And if you feel that you'd like to give more than you can put in the kettle, then you can always contact the Army at their headquarters, and you can ask to be put on their supporters list. And then you will be reminded from time to time that it's time to be more generous again. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to the business community for their support. And with that, I would encourage you all to stuff the kettles if you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman David. Also, my buddy Steve still here? I think we'll call Steve up. While Steve is coming, I would just like to acknowledge that Minister Fogo has joined us today. Thank you for all of your support. There are a number of other clergy around that I see. We want to thank you for your support. A number of churches, thank you for your joining us in your partnership. I know you're wondering now, what does the Salvation Army do with all of this? And what's the outcome of all of this? And what do we see happen here in Bermuda? I'd like for you to listen just for a moment to my buddy Steve. I'm going to ask him a few questions. And then I'm going to ask you, is it worth it? Stephen, come this way, buddy. You don't mind if I take this off to you?
No, I don't mind anything.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Steve, where were you about 5, 6 years ago, and what happened to you?
Okay. Well, 5 years ago, I have to be honest. My life 5 years ago was hopeless. I will tell you why. For one, I didn't identify with God. Truth is, I couldn't identify with myself. 5 years ago, I was tore up from the floor up. Unfortunately, resentment was my comforter. The person I resented was myself. Today, I can honestly say I blame people for the resentful state I was in. I was a blind man walking for many a day. For the life of me, I just couldn't get out of my way.
Steve, how did you come into treatment? And how long was treatment?
Okay. Where's number 2? Okay, just a minute. Okay, how did I get into treatment? 2? 2 is, okay, yes, what got me into treatment? Excuse me. For one, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Around this time, I started attending church at the North Street Citadel and the men's Bible study at 9:45 Sunday mornings. Still sick and tired, I knocked on Harbor Light's door and asked for help.
What help did you get?
Okay. In treatment, the question is, how was treatment?
Yes.
Well, first, it was truthful. The truth is always an offense. The truth was I had resented life and myself for most of my life. For most of my life, I was consumed in low self-worth and low self-esteem. In treatment, you were taught to put principles before personality. Personality is life. Principle is life, and personality is death. Today, I choose principle. Today, I realize that the principle of forgiveness is new life for the person doing the forgiving. Because of treatment, I have learned to forgive myself.
Today? And today?
Okay. What is life like today? Today, because I am learning to put principle before personality, I experience new beginnings. Every day of my new beginning, today I am, just a minute. Treatment for forgiveness, okay, we done to learn to give myself, okay, excuse me.
It's all right. It's
Okay.
okay.
Today, because I am learning to put principle before personality, I experience new beginnings. Every day, One of my new beginnings today is I am a soldier of the Salvation Army. Another new beginning is a fellowship with my family, and my biggest new beginning is a fellowship with God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Lloyd, our newest soldier of the Salvation Army. Thank you, brother. But more than that, you need to know exactly why we do what we do. Amen. I'd like to ask Major Sanders. Oh no, we're going to have a note from the brass. A note from the brass.
Thank you. It's Christmas. It's a time of hope. It's a time of peace. It's a time of giving. It's a time when we extend our family to be neighbors and family to those who perhaps are without. It's a time when we put faith into action, and the love of God compels us to love each other. Mr. Ming has already taken the opportunity to say thank you to the various participants and the various guests that are here today. I just want to add my own heartfelt gratitude and thank you for being here, your presence, and your support of the Salvation Army moving forward. I also want to say a big thank you to Cal Ming. Cal represents us. Yes, thank you. Cal opens up doors for me to meet new people and to sit in new offices, and I say to him when I leave, Cal, is there anybody in Bermuda that doesn't know you, and is there anybody here that you don't know? So Cal, thank you for all your efforts and for what you've done to make this day possible. It's Christmas. God started the giving by giving His Son. There are 1,200 families right now who look to us for help this Christmas. Would you join us in making a difference in their lives? God bless you as you give to those around you. Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless you.
And at the perfect time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face shine upon you, be gracious unto you, and give you His peace. We declare that in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Dad.
That's awesome.